What's going on, everyone? This is Vince from Life with Vince Lou, and today I wanted to talk about how I was able to deadlift more than 3 times my body weight. So this morning with a belt, I was able to conventional deadlift 425 pounds. I'll put a video here. In the video though, I thought the camera angle was okay, but it wasn't, so it is super close up, but you can see me doing 425. So that's a new PR of mine, 425 with a belt. Without a belt, I think my PR is 415. I also have a video of that as well. But how this came about, or how I was able to actually pull this off, is, well, a little bit of background. I am about 138 pounds right now, 138.8. Usually I'm between 135 and 140. 140 is usually a little bit heavier for me, and then 135 is really light. So I like to be in this range. Obviously when I'm bulking, I'm heavier than 140. So I've been lifting for about 4 to 5 years now, pretty consistently, and I've been deadlifting for that same amount of time, and I've been deadlifting pretty consistently. Usually most of the times it's at least twice a week, sometimes it's once, but right now I'm on a push-pull legs split. But previously when I got into lifting, I was lifting push-pull legs, and now I take a day off, push-pull legs. So I was going about 5 to 6 days a week, but rather now I only go to the gym about 2, maybe 3 times a week, because I've been so involved in jiu-jitsu. So with that, how I was able to deadlift 3 times my body weight, I mean, it just takes, one, it's patience. So I've been doing it for 4 to 5 years, but I've been consistent for 4 to 5 years, deadlifting once, twice a week, and methodically going up with the weight pretty much everywhere. I wasn't on a specific plan, but I was more on like a linear plan. So most of the time I would go 5 sets of 10, and so I started off like 135, and then once I could do 5 sets of 10, I would put on another 10 pounds on each side, so 155. And then once I can complete that 155 of 10, 5 sets of 10, then I would go up another 20 pounds, another 20 pounds, another 20 pounds, and then next thing you know, here I am. So that's, I think, about 80% of like my training program. It's pretty linear, although probably 3 years ago, I worked at a gym in San Diego as a personal trainer, and then one of the personal trainers there was like, I was like, hey, because he was really big, and I was like, hey, I've seen you deadlifting like 5 or 6 plates, you know, what can I do to better my own deadlift? At that point, I was deadlifting about 335, 355 for 2 to 3, and I was like, hey, how do I, you know, better my deadlift? So he put me on this plan, and I've done this plan 3 or 4 times. I only really completed it once, but the other 2 or 3 times that I did it, I only did it up till like a certain point, and then it kind of just like died out. But regardless, it's got me super strong. So if you want to get super strong, it's a really simple program, and it's going to be 4 exercises. It's going to be the barbell conventional deadlift, barbell overhand rows, barbell underhand rows, and then the back extension. And all you got to do is you start off just with the bar and 10s on each side. So that's going to be 65. So you start that off for your conventional deadlift. And then each week you're going to go up by 10 pounds on each side. So that's for the barbell conventional deadlift. For the underhand rows and the overhand rows, you can start off a little lighter. You can just use the bar at first, and then instead of adding 10 pounds on each side for 20 pounds a week, you can add 5 pounds on each side, and then so it'll be a net of 10 pounds per week. And then with the back extension, all you got to do is add 5 pounds. So for me, I started off with just the 5-pound plate, and then the next week would be the 10-pound plate, and then the following week would be 15. With the 15, I would use the kettlebells, and then up till, you know, however much. So so week 1, you're gonna start off with a 65 pounds barbell conventional, 55 pounds underhand, 55 pounds overhand, and then body weight with your back extensions. with all of these exercises, you're gonna do 5 sets of 20. It seems like a lot, or it doesn't seem like that much because you're doing such a light weight, but you definitely want to complete all of the reps. So with that being said, 5 sets of 20 on all exercises. As you move up from week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, you're gonna be adding weight. And do it till the maximum capacity, but you're gonna taper off slowly. So week 1, I was doing 65 for the deadlifts, and then plus all the other exercises, but let's just stick to talking about the deadlifts right now. So 65, and then the following week I would do 5 sets of 20 of 85, 105, 125, 145, 165. I think right when I got to to the upper hundreds / lower 200s, I couldn't do 5 sets of 20 anymore. So that's when you start to taper off. So I was doing 5 sets of 18, and then the following week I would move up the weight, 5 sets of 17, 16, 15, 14, so on and so forth. And then at one point I was hitting 5 sets of 315 for 12 each set, right? So you're gonna be going up in weight and for all the exercises, because the deadlifts you can usually do a lot more than your rows. So the rows, the first time I did, I was going by 10 pounds, but by like week 6, you're rowing like over 100 pounds, and that can get pretty heavy pretty quickly. So I just broke it down even more and was only going up by 5 pounds for the rows. So with that being said, also week 1 and week 2, the first couple of weeks, it's gonna seem really light, and you're like, I could probably go heavier, but it's not a good idea to go heavier because you need to build that base of strength. It's like you're building a house from scratch. You want to build a good foundation, and doing those first couple weeks, even though it's super light, you're going to build that foundation, so it's going to really strengthen your lower back. Actually, before this, I did this program, I was using a belt, but after this program, I pretty much haven't used a belt. I only use a belt maybe once or twice a year, just so I can test my max to see like, hey, what's the difference if I use a belt? So that's why I've recently maxed out, because I wanted to see how what my max was. So yeah, do these 4 exercises. It should take you, honestly, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's gonna take you a long time. And then also another tip is that when you're doing the rows, you can turn them into power rows after it gets really heavy. Because once you're rowing 415, you're not going to be able, not 415, 135 or more, it's going to get really heavy really fast, especially go 155, 175, like that. So, and then they're going to be barbell bent over rows. So I try to be as flat, as a parallel to the ground as I can, and then but after a while I just kind of turn them to power rows after it gets super heavy. So take that for what it's worth. If you want to deadlift 3 times your weight, it's a super simple program. But yeah, definitely consult your doctor first before you start any type of training program, because I don't want to get sued or anything, but this is what's helped for me, and this is just speaking from my own experience. But take that for what it's worth. You can see in the video that I was able to deadlift 3 times my weight. I don't think that you're going to be able to deadlift 3 times your weight in a year or even 2. It'd be really amazing if you could, but you need to probably do it for at least a couple years consistently. So hope y'all enjoyed that video. Hopefully it was helpful. Smash that like button if you liked the video. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Other than that, see y'all soon. Also, just a few more tips is that with this program, I'm only doing it once a week. You only need to do it once a week. You don't need to do more than twice. And also plan your rest days before and after. When I was doing this program, I was taking a rest day, doing this pull, and then taking a rest day, and then lifting push, and then legs, and then another rest day. So I was methodically putting them this day in between 2 rest days, because you're gonna need it. You're gonna be crushed, or at least I was. Also, just a few more tips, you know, make sure that your nutrition's on point. Make sure that you're taking a little bit of creatine, monohydrate. If you're not, I mean, that helps. So, but at the same time, consult your physician before doing all this. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, comment down below. Also, I'm gonna put a link to what the program looked like for me. I have it actually in my workout journal that I was tracking all my steps. So I'll let you see what my numbers look like. Your numbers are going to look a lot different depending on your weight, depending on your size, depending if you're, just depending on you. So hopefully this helps. Other than that, see y'all soon.